Hey everybody, so a lot of you who've been following my videos want to know where I get a lot of my tips and information from, and there's this one book that really helped me, mine and Dan's relationship. So I'm going to show you just a couple of the highlights. It's a very, very full-on meaty book. It's got 134 pages. Okay, so it's called Melt Your Man's Heart by Dr. Randall Bennett, and good introduction, etc., etc. Like the point, you cannot get what you want until you learn how to get it, and he sets out to do this. We all know, he talks about different styles, and we all know assertive is sexy, but he also then goes on to tell you the 10 steps to becoming assertive. In the next section, he talks about the 5 relationship records that destroy a marriage, and this really made sense to us. He calls it a dance of dysfunction. And then he goes on to talk what I think is often the core of this book, which is called the Baker's Dozen. And these are 13 points or skills that are your roadmap and guide to having a happier marriage. And he goes to a large extent how to implement it, monitor them, and so on. Exciting for me is an area I really love is the brain research findings. And finally, I could make sense of why Dan, you know, would remember different things. When I talk to him, he just doesn't get it. And but to show you something quite interesting, I went and looked at some research called the amygdala emotional memory, and this is men's and women's brain. Now, men and women are shown the exact same emotionally arousing slides, but what happens with men is they record the information, those that remember it record the information in the right amygdala, right hand brain, which is the logic brain. Females look at the same emotional arousing slide, and guess what? They do it in the left-hand side, which is really about emotionality and so on. Women think relationally, whereas men think very logically, and it's no wonder they sometimes just don't get us. And once Randall Bennett explains very simply, and once you kind of get it, you kind of go, aha, and this made huge sense to me. Good section on his triggers and what makes him fall deeply in love with you. Now, I love quick wins in books, and one of the things that this book gave me is that there's a chapter and there's loads of quick wins, but the one that really worked for me was called the Rule of 6. And it worked marvels not only with my husband, with my teenager. Okay, so what you do is you try and think of how many negative exchanges you've had today or this week, and you begin to track them. And then for every one negative exchange you do, you have 6 positive ones. And it sounds simple and so on, but if you do this, watch how people change around you. It's amazing. They start smiling, they start relaxing, and suddenly you are now starting to focus on their good stuff. Now, this has made a huge difference in my relationship. Randall talks about the creating the love cocoon, and again, also about motivational visuals, a whole lot of quick wins you can quickly implement. Near the end of his book, he talks about realistic expectations, which you need to have. There's some great quick wins you can put in and see change, but you need to be realistic. And he supplies the lifestyle guide, which I think is the strength of his program. So I really love this book. It's made a huge difference to my relationship. I've only been implementing it for 2 or 3 weeks, but the evidence shows. Okay, so just to quickly wrap up, lots of quick wins, but realistic, a realistic implementation plan. Love the neurological brain size. This book is based on the latest science and a lot of common sense. Like the layout, very easy to get around, and you can skip sections to what works for you. And really like the bonus life guide tool. Dislikes, no journal references. I'm a medical researcher, so I like to see that at the end of all books, but that's me. And then there's some extreme examples. Also, I think their sales process sucks. You buy the book and then they ask you if you want something else. But anyway, stick to your guns. You don't have to buy all those upsells. You can just buy the book. But look, I know it's the internet and most of what's out there is junk. It's just a sad truth. But, Dr. Bennett has an ironclad no BS guarantee. And get this. if you're not totally thrilled with the information, all you do is send them an email within the first 60 days. You've got 60 days and you will get an instant refund, no questions asked. Now that's very attractive to me. That's people who stand by their books are able to do this. Okay, click the link now, and thank you so much for watching.